In a land plagued by dragons, war, and more bugs than all other Bethesda games combined, one man set out to do the unthinkable. I played 100% of Skyrim. I was mauled by wildlife, arrested in every major city, married for convenience, and adopted orphans like they were loot drops. I also had the occasional run-in with a giant. I rose through the ranks of every guild with 0 qualifications, solved civil wars by yelling at people, and committed several light war crimes, mostly involving cheese. This isn't just a playthrough. This is a full psychological breakdown disguised as gameplay. Welcome to Skyrim, and may Talos have mercy on whatever's left of me, which isn't much. Oh, I'm tied up. Where are my legs? Where are my legs? Where are we going? Where y'all taking me? This is so nostalgic. Even though I've never beat the game, it's still nostalgic. As you just heard, I have never beaten or played more than halfway through Skyrim's main story, so this will absolutely be a journey. He's waiting for me. He is indeed. I arrive at my destination and this guy gets dropped by some arrows while trying to flee. Ignoring that though, I am prompted to design my character. I chose a Nord since I wasn't aware of any buffs granted by different races in the game. Once my abomination has been completed, I watch this guy get hastily beheaded and I get called to the chopping block as a successor. Before I blissfully say goodbye to the life I've known for 6 total seconds, a magnificent overgrown air gnat with fire breathing capabilities saved the day. That's Alduin, right? Yes, this dragon would be known as Alduin, or the World Eater, which isn't the least bit terrifying. Now that my head doesn't linger below an axe, I took that opportunity to reach the nearest tower. What do we need to do? My safety, however, was short-lived as Alduin burst through the side of the tower, damn near giving me a heart attack. He didn't stay long though, so I clutched my pearls and leaped into the roof of the next building over. I also discovered that this game has horrible default controls, so I spent the next 5 minutes fixing that. What the hell? Anyways, I dragged myself through a very hot village as it was being burnt down and then found myself sandwiched between 2 grown-ass men. It was not very pleasant. They both ran in different directions and expected me to pick like that one trend where dog owners run in opposite directions and make the dog decide. So I picked whoever required fewer steps. I'll go with you, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, use your eyeballs. Was it a dragon? It looked like a dragon to me.
Let me see if I can get those bindings off.
Yes. Get the bindings off, please. After being released from my darkest kink, I stole some gold, a sword, and a broom before rummaging through the nearest chest. This granted me some armor and a key for Helgen's Keep. I stole some more goodies too. What's in this chest? Empty. With all of these things, I had to find my way to the inventory and equip them. Can I dual wield swords? Is that a thing? Where y'all at? I'm coming for you. As you can see, I wasted no time getting down to business. Yeah. Oh wait, am I not supposed to kill you? Or am I supposed to? You're not doing anything. What the hell? Attack! Ow. Oops, sorry. I stole some gauntlets from a corpse and equipped them to be fully covered. I then yoinked all the clothes off of this guy just because I could. I'm stealing shit. Give me a minute. Not sure why I had so much trouble considering I'm a world-class thief and all of that. The tunnel ahead collapsed in front of me, leading me down a different path. I came across a couple stormcloaks and dealt with them hastily. Oh. Don't know what I did, but it looked cool. I want to loot this place. Damn it. Can I take the whole kettle? I can. There were health potions nearby as well. Take potion of minor magicka. Don't mind if I do. What's in here? Ooh, more potions. The rest of the room had carrots, which I did take, but it becomes an obsession, so I'll leave out the embarrassment. I head down some stairs while watching some people shoot lightning at each other, and all I could think was, I want that. So I took all of their lives. And you get stabbed too. Get wrecked, kid. I came across this locked door, and inside waited a spell book. All I needed to do was pick the lock first, to which I am a master. Perfecto. See, look at that. It's just raw skill right there. Spell tome? Yes, sir. I activated my new lightning wizardry powers since from this moment forward I vowed to be the fiercest wizard to ever walk the earth. I loot this dead guy for a nice chunk of gold and potions. I chose to stop using melee entirely at this point and went with flames and sparks, one in each hand. This was cool as hell. I entered some sort of cave system and immediately made contact with hostiles, although they stood no chance against the elements I wield in my palms. While I was causing major destruction, I had the unfortunate discovery of magicka, which is the source of my magic abilities. Therefore, it can run out. Only thing I could do was wait until it recharged a little bit. I neglected to remember the magicka potions I picked up earlier. Set it on fire. Burn! You too. I'm dodging. You can't hit me. Got nothing on me. You dead. See? I'm just too skilled. Perhaps that is not what it means, but I digress. Not me already hoarding things. I should probably stop. Can't you like sell things though? Because I kind of, I want to be rich. I continue through and drop to this bridge. What do you got? Potion. Gold. Nice. We're rich already. I'd say that guy's been there for quite a while. I'm coming, Hadwar. Relax. What the hell? Did he just smack me with an arm? No, actually, bones in this game have a mind of their own, and their only thoughts consist of the quickest way to kill you. I speak from experience. Moving past the sentient bones, I was all too much excited to set fire to the cave full of spiders. Don't like them in real life, and definitely don't like them virtually. Get out of my way, Hadvar. You're interrupting my ability to burn all these spiders. There's a bear. Where? Where's the bear? Where's the bear at? I don't see no bear. I don't see a bear. Do you see a bear? There's not a single bear here, Hadvar. What are you doing? Gotta get some contacts in or something. Hadvar, you want a bear? Stay there. Stay there, Hadvar. Stay there. I'm bringing you a bear. I was at the end of the cave now, so I walked towards the light. When the open world greeted me, so did a message asking me if I wanted to try survival mode, to which I incessantly declined. That's new, right? I played this game like 6 years ago. I have no idea if that's new. I plugged my ears while Hadvar rambled for a while and was notified I completed the Unbound quest, unlocking my very first achievement. I now need to talk to Alvor in Riverwood. On the way there, I pluck the environment of his hard work. No, seriously, I collect so many ingredients and I do this every time I'm outside for some reason. What is this marker over here? I can't remember if I've said this already, but I have no knowledge of this game really. Give me that butterfly. Yoink. I may have beaten it once, but if I did, it was at least 7 years ago. Like, it's been forever. I remember nothing. I know nothing. I have been getting guidance from my friend, Master Neloth. A quick thank you to the man himself as I stick my fingers into these standing stones. If you're familiar with the Elder Scrolls world, there's a good chance you've heard of him. If you're new here, then you should absolutely check him out. I used quite a few of his guides during this playthrough, so go show him some love. I'd also like to mention that if you made it this far, you are most likely enjoying the video. I make videos just like this one regularly, so consider hitting the subscribe button. I'll also mention that this 100% is based on achievements. I did not spend 500 hours completing all 600 plus quests in the game. As you just saw, I activated the Mage Stone and received my second achievement. This stone grants a 20% experience buff to all skills falling under the Mage category. It's a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. Alright, let's go. Let's go, Hadvar. Don't mind me though, I am collecting all the plants that I can. What are these flowers used for? Where does this go? Hold on, Hadvar, I'm getting distracted. It's a mine. A mine it was, also the apparent residence of a bandit. He had a swift end. He was so joyful, in fact, he took one last leap in the end. I loot the corpse and entered the mine since I'm easily distracted. I activated this tripwire and was very disappointed by the lack of creativity here. Come on, bandits, do better. What the hell? What kind of tripwire is that? That's anticlimactic as fuck. Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. Not sure if you needed me to say it, but I burned them with aggression. Cooked beef. Give me that. I will take cooked beef any day of the week. I don't care who it's from. Wait a minute, hold up. I don't have a pickaxe to mine that. Where's a pickaxe? Oh, right there, conveniently. Let's mine this ore vein. Oh, this is not how I expected the ore vein. Oh, iron ore added. It is indeed painfully slow to mine ores when you do the animation like that. Oh, I have so much to discover. This is just iron, but I received a gem from it too. They've had me working down here for days now. It's not the time to be... Yeah, I'm not reading all that. I'm sure you don't want to hear it either. I'm going to read all of the lore pages that I come across because I've never done it. That's ambitious and no you won't. I took out more bandits and after this last one I received the key to the mine. This allowed me to open this loot room. I stole a ton of gold, a clairvoyant spellbook that I never use, and opened this chest to a ton of goodies. The only thing I decided to use were these boots boosting my sneaking by 15%, whatever that means. Then I mined more ore since it was a mine after all. While killing more bandits, I leveled up my destruction skill and subsequently leveled up my character to level 2. Then I came across this skill book. There are a handful of these around the world, usually obviously placed. These level up a particular skill by 1 point, depending on the book. I stole these iron ingots too. I then used the smithing station to upgrade my iron sword into a fine variant, basically just making the stats slightly better at the expense of iron ingots. I tried to fish, and after being confused for quite a while, I gave up never to touch it again. For my final act in this mine, I robbed the dead bandits of their dinner like a true gentleman. When your level increases, you must choose to increase your health, magicka, or stamina. You can also select a new perk at this time or save it for later. Stamina. I hate running. This was an extremely daunting screen to look at, and it took a long time for me to narrow down what I needed to focus on. At the start, I just chose to increase my destruction skill, making novice spells cheaper to cast. So we went in here, came out here. Alright. After many distractions, I make my way into Riverwood. Chicken! I talked to Alvor, stole everything off of him, and informed him about the dragon that attacked Helgen.
That explains what I saw earlier, flying down the valley from the south. I was hoping I was wrong about what I thought it was. A dragon. Here in Skyrim.
Just about every NPC will have that exact same reaction, so I'll spare you. He then tells me that I need to get word to the Jarl in Whiterun about the dragon, so the running simulator continues. Before I begin that, I sold everything extra that I had collected for some extra gold. I also found a way to steal all of his ingots that he had lying around. And his armor. Don't judge me, I'm a master thief. On my trip to Whiterun, I was jump scared by a wolf, and I made sure he didn't suffer, of course. Give me that wolf pelt. Not sure how I did it, but I made it all the way to Whiterun without getting distracted. I believe I deserve an award for that. I had to use my powers of persuasion to gain entrance, and shortly made my way to Dragon's Reach. This is where the Jarl resides. I speak to the Jarl and inform him there's a dragon, and after much disbelief, he takes me at my word.
You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me.
Of course there is. There always is. He sends me to meet his personal wizard, who is an arrogant shithead right out the gate, so that's a good start.
What? Project? You think you could help me? I really don't think so. The Jarl can be found in the Great Hall, probably sitting on his Jarl's throne. Not over here in a wizard's laboratory.
Okay, Miss Prissy Pants. While I waited, I bought the Fireball spellbook from him.
Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense. Good. You're clearly better suited than I am to carry out such a menial task.
You're such a cock. You're a dick for no reason. I made the mistake of going through the conversation options, which landed me with this quest. Whoops.
Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. When I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there.
Perfect. Definitely doesn't sound like a complete waste of time. This is what the Jarl wanted though, so it looks like I'll be forced to carry it out. To enchant an item, you must know an enchantment and have a filled soul gem to power the enchantment. Enchantments are learned by disenchanting destroying enchanted items. Oh. Well, I kind of need those. Oh, how did I... Oh, alchemy lab. What can we do here? What does this make? Potion of damage magicka regen. I used that opportunity to waste all of the ingredients I've gathered so far, making completely random potions. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here, to be honest. I'm just kind of clicking on things and hoping I discover something new. On the flip side though, every potion that I learned here will be saved, so it won't really be random my next time around. Apparently, leaving me with free will was a large mistake. I proceeded to steal just about every available book in the Dragon's Reach castle. I did find good amounts of gold and the occasional skill book though. God, how many books do we have now? Probably like 1,000. That's how much it feels like. I've robbed at this entire place. They're gonna have 0 books in this building by the time I'm done. Ultimately, I became too encumbered and decided to dump all of those books right beside this table, creating a massive mess that I will never clean up. It stayed this way for my entire playthrough. I left Dragon's Reach and set out to complete this quest bestowed upon me. On my way there, I found this vampire hunter, which genuinely threw me so far off the track in terms of understanding what's going on. Mumbled something about Daedra and vampires. My pea-brain didn't stand a chance. I did get an enchanted amulet off the body though. Oh, it's a tall guy. Oh. Oh! Oh no. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Vampire hunter, come here. No, stop running. Stop running. I'm faster than you, bitch. You fight him. Yeah. Oh, did he kill her just like that? Okay. I suspect this wasn't a very smart idea. I was correct in my assumption that this was not a good idea. The wind feels very nice though, so that's a bonus, although I will be falling for a while. Oh my god. He sent me to the moon. Lesson learned quickly. At last, I made it to Bleak Falls Barrow. I took out the bandits guarding the entrance before meandering my way inside as I do most things in life. Keep in mind, while I might not be showing it, I'm looting every possible nook and cranny. Jug of milk! Oh my god, now where's the cereal? Where is the cereal? I eliminated the source of that talking and carried on about my business. I solved a puzzle where I had to turn these pillars and a gate opened up for me. I then found a pickpocket skill book and another health potion. Here's a soul gem too. What are the soul gems used for? Oh, that's right, for like some sort of enchanting thing, is what that wizard said. I continued through the tunnels until I made it to these spider webs blocking my path. Upon looking inside, there was an abomination in there that simply should not exist. I was accidentally able to cheese it by just peering in and out of the door until the spider was out for the count. I decided to relinquish my collection of pots and bowls before I entered as well.
You! Over here! You did it! You killed it! Now cut me down before anything else shows up. Help me down and I'll show you.
I've seen this part of the murder mystery way too many times, so I gave him 0 seconds to speak before ending his life. It did have a fortunate side effect though. I now possessed the golden claw, which I needed for the quest. My next interruption was from a creature called a Draugr. The normal ones aren't really all that hard to kill, as you can see. I like the look of their weapons too for some reason, so I took all of them. This here is a restless Draugr, the next tier up from a normal one and obviously harder to kill. I dove through these swinging axes, leveled up my destruction, set these poor lads on fire, collected glowing mushrooms, continued looting like the goblin that I am, and came in contact with another hallway with swinging axes. What the fuck? I continued causing destruction wherever applicable until I came across this room. The door here requires a passcode consisting of 3 symbols. Luckily, I was examining the golden claw earlier and saw something that looked very similar. I entered the code in the door and inserted the golden claw as a key, and like magic, the door descended into the rock below, allowing me to go forward. The next room was absolutely massive. I explored around a bit until I came across this. At the time, I was very confused as to what just happened to me, but I learned something called Unrelenting Force. This is Skyrim's most known shout. Unrelenting Force. Oh, Dragon Souls. Never mind. I was missing Dragon Souls to activate it, but my thoughts were quickly interrupted by this guy rising from the dead, or his bed, I don't know. This is a Draugr Overlord, which is definitely stronger than the Restless variant. It was a longer fight, but with some perseverance I came out victorious, earning the Dragonstone and an enchanted axe as a reward. I was then told that I need to return the stone to Farengar, that asshole wizard from earlier. I wasn't happy about this. I found a secret chest in this room, and right before the exit I found this amulet that increases my magicka and this not so creepy looking shrine. I may or may not have taken the skull. I exit the cave and am greeted by the heavenly feeling of fresh air. Burn just like the rest. I discovered this mage's cabin in the woods, and as a normal functioning member of society, I walked right on in and stole just about everything I could get my hands on. I also disenchanted this axe before remembering that this process destroys the original item, although I was already in it at this point, so I was like whatever, and did the same with the rest of my items. I made a ton of potions while I was here too. After leaving her cellar, the mage obviously was not very happy with me, so I put her down and stole her clothes. I'm also now wearing those clothes because I figured it would benefit me as a mage myself, with a 50% increased magic regeneration. I'm dumb as hell because instead of fast traveling, I ran all the way back to Whiterun. This may be a dead woman's clothes, but damn, I look pretty good. Before I went up to Dragon's Reach, I did a quick side quest for the blacksmith where she teaches me how to use the stations. Nothing crazy special, I just crafted a few items and tempered them. There was literally no reward for this to my utter disappointment. This time around, I spent my points on stamina, magicka, then health. I wanted a balance, but I'm level 5 now, earning my 3rd achievement. I used a perk point on dual spell casting, which means if I use the same spell such as sparks in both hands, it'll do heaps more damage. Then I wasted one in pickpocketing. I reluctantly returned the Dragonstone to Farengal, and he offered me nothing of value and context to it.
I need your help again. I want you to go with Irileth and help her fight this dragon. You survived Helgen, so you have more experience with dragons than anyone else here.
The Jarl told me about a dragon attack close by and let me know that as a token of my work, I'm allowed to purchase a house here in Whiterun. I quickly made my way over to the location of the dragon attack. I got to the top of the tower just in time to see the fucker fly over me. And right then, it was cursed to death by my hands. I didn't do anything noble though, I just stood back and shot arrows at it. It was almost dead now, so I ran up to use my spells on it. This however proved to be a massive mistake. Bro sniped me with fiery stench and ended my terrors upon Skyrim. Just kidding, I have plot armor and can't be killed as I'll just respawn. Sucks to suck. This time around, I took the flying beast down with little struggle. Maybe a change of pants, but that's beside the point. Then something strange began to happen to me. The dragon just seemed to evaporate, leaving nothing but bone, although instead of vanishing, it appeared to be going into me. This was a level of intimacy I was not prepared for. I also unlocked Unrelenting Force since now I have a dragon soul. It was pretty weak sauce with only one word learned though. The locals began calling me Dragonborn. On my way back to Whiterun, the sky started speaking.
So what happened at the watchtower? It was a mighty deed, but there must be more to it than that. Did something strange happen when the dragon died? So it's true. The Greybeards really were summoning you. Masters of the Way of the Voice. They live in seclusion high on the slopes of the throat of the world. The Dragonborn is said to be uniquely gifted in the voice. If you really are Dragonborn, they can teach you how to use your gift.
Then I spent a perk point in smithing and one in enchanting right after.
By my right as Jarl, I name you Thane of Whiterun. It's the greatest honor that's within my power to grant. I assign you Lydia as a personal housecarl.
I know you just heard, but I was given the title of Thane in Whiterun, and I was given Lydia as a battle buddy. I am no longer a loner. On my way out, I found this guy dead in the street, so obviously I looted his body. I also stole a bunch of ingredients from this one random lady's house. For some reason, I wanted to keep up with my side quests, and the first one had me raid a bandit hideout. Not sure how many people died, but I'm sure it was a good bit. I collected an axe, some potions, and I killed the leader here, which was my quest objective. And the last thing to note is this transmute ore spell tome. I will at some point use this a lot. I'm having some serious inventory management issues. I went back to Whiterun and used the smelter to turn my 57 iron ore into bars. I've been mining every time I come across an ore node. I was also under the impression that this levels up your smithing skill. It in fact does not. So I crafted a ton of steel daggers to try to get it a bit higher. I ended up with only 3 levels higher than I started with, and a bunch of daggers I was never going to use. The only logical solution was to beg the blacksmith to buy them off of me. Now to continue the main quest, I need to make my way up to Iverstead. I figured a horse would be quicker, so I bought one off of this fine gentleman here. On my way there, I'm sure you know this by now, I got distracted. This is no surprise. Alright, well I guess we're going into another cave. Whoa, what the hell?
Who's there? Rodolphe? That you?
I opted to lie to the poor blind guy to get past him. What if I just took your book right now? Wait a minute. Dog, you're blind. How did you read a... Wait. There is no... I'm taking it. I'm taking your book, blind man. I obviously murdered a couple of bandits, but the only thing to note in this cave was this leader. After I killed him, I found out he possessed a lot of gold. And then this chest as a reward for my efforts. Later, I come across these standing stones. I was very surprised to see a necromancer here, but I don't discriminate when it comes to slaughtering people. This leveled up my destruction to 30. The standing stone was absolutely useless though. I don't want that. Why would I want that? My journey continues with the discovery of a Stormcloak rebellion camp, until my path was blocked by a bandit group camped out in an old ruin. I tried my best to intimidate them, but my efforts were sadly wasted. They all now inhabit wherever it is people go when they die. I'm genuinely tempted to count the amount of people I kill throughout this playthrough, but I'm positive it will be well into the thousands, so I can't be bothered. Is there anything else in here that I should be, just a cheese wedge, what the hell? Hopefully I didn't miss anything important, but I don't think I did. Oh my god, that scared the hell out of me. What are you doing, horse? I found this tomb at some point and went inside. When this guy opened his mouth, I learned that he's actual scum. Bro let his aunt go into a dangerous tomb alone. I hope that's not the grandma you were talking about. I swear, Lydia just loves to stand in possibly the only place that blocks my path. She was made to always be in the way. I noticed I had another level right after yelling at Lydia to get her shit together. Oh, is this her? Damn. Unfortunate. Bro actually let his aunt die. That's wild. Although whilst in the middle of a fight, that dude died, and I can't really say I was upset about it. He got the same end his aunt did. The irony here is perfect. I didn't realize it, but this was the final guy needed to complete the tomb. He wasn't all that hard to take out, to be honest. All I received from him was this crypt key. My hoarding is really out of control at this point. I opened this door with the key, got a nice little spell book from a chest, and it led me straight back out into the open world. Why are you looking at me like that, Lydia? We're eventually gonna have to go to the College of Winterhold, which is way the fuck out there. No, don't do it, Smurf. Oh, thank God. Damn it, what is up with you in secret caves? They will be here when you come back, I swear. I took a moment to stare at a corpse kebab before heading inside. Murder, loot, quick level up, more murder, and more loot. Although there was a big ass cat ready to throw hands. I didn't give it the chance to though. 1,000 coin value? Time between shouts is reduced by 20%? That's crazy. I killed this really dense bandit at the end and found out that I could solve my inventory issues by giving all of my extra stuff to Lydia. I take back every hurtful thing I've ever said to you, Lydia. Holy shit balls, I need to stop picking up every single piece of food I see. This is a problem. For now, Lydia can just stuff them in her pockets. I skipped most of this place because I'll be coming back here in the future, so I'll show more of it then. For once in my life, can I just stick with the objective? I'm skipping this too since I'll also be returning here. I did find the bound sword spellbook here though. At the end, I had hired thugs try to kill me, and they were successful more times than I can admit. I was so mad. It was at this point that I decided wearing actual armor is way more beneficial than whatever the robes give me. I just stole the steel armor off of one of the dead thugs. After doing that, I was able to take them down. With Lydia's help, of course. I was just about in Iverstead now, but I wanted to take this troll out first. It was not worth it. After 3 hours since I left Whiterun, my boots finally touch Iverstead soil.
My business is falling apart, my apprentice never listens to me, and now there's talk of dragons.
That sounds like a personal problem. I talked to more locals, and the guy behind the bar in the inn gave me so many quests it's insane. Also, I'd like to point out that I'm collecting every single side quest from talking to people. Not saying I'm going to do them, but I wasn't sure what I'd need for the 100%, so better safe than sorry. For example, this one, which is a Daedric quest. I just had no idea at the time. Eventually, I'm told that High Hrothgar is a place where the Greybeards reside. It's some sort of monastery, and they don't show themselves very often. Kind of like the TV depiction of Shaolin monks. Take that with a grain of salt though, I have no real knowledge on monks. I also learned that it sits atop the tallest mountain, and I've got a strong guess I'm not going to have fun climbing it. Before I marched towards that, I found myself in a tomb blocked by a door needing another claw key. I only have the golden one. Let's go. Time to make our journey all the way to the top. It honestly wasn't that bad for the first half. I put a perk point in augmented shock and augmented flames. This just increases damage output. I was still kind of enjoying this until I had my first run-in with a frost troll. I totally took it down my first try. Definitely not my fourth time or anything. Fuck him up, Lydia. Yeah. Continuing to follow the path, I eventually reach my destination. We're here. Oh my god. High Hrothgar. I enter the mysterious building and speak to the first Greybeard I see. The name is really starting to make sense now. They didn't believe 100% that I was Dragonborn at first and told me to yell at them, so I obliged. They accepted, welcomed me, and introduced themselves, although I can't say I was really paying attention here. They talk slower than my 92-year-old relatives. Supposedly they are my guidance through the Dragonborn journey. Then they teach me the second word of unrelenting force. Fantastic. They also went inside me to activate it. This made me more uncomfortable than when the dragon did it. Then I yelled at them again. At some point we made our way outside where they taught me another shout. This one just makes me travel a short distance very quickly. For the love of all that is holy, can people stop entering me, please? This is what the whirlwind shout looks like. Alright, we got a new achievement. Way of the voice. Nice. I was free to leave not long after that. Let's see, where's this quest at? Oh my god, that's forever away. Shit. I used my map to fast travel to the closest location, and for some reason ran all the way back to Whiterun. Immediately as I entered, I was interrupted by cultists.
You're the one they call Dragonborn. Your lies fall on deaf ears, deceiver. True Dragonborn comes. When Lord Mirak appears, all shall bear witness.
Who the hell is Lord Mirak? This was the start of the Dragonborn DLC, and even though I didn't know that, it didn't matter because I ignored it for ages anyway. Those cultists did not make it home, unfortunately. I did take their clothes though. On the last fella, I snagged the cultist orders letter. It looks like I'm getting pretty close to 5,000 gold here. Oh wait, we're only 23 coins off now. I took a moment and learned the enchantments from the items I've been hoarding. Alright, well my enchanting's better now. I don't think I've ever done anything enchanting related in this game. It's sad, but it's true, unfortunately. I gave my next level to Magicka. Then I managed to get back on track and fast travel to the closest location to the quest. Of course, I got off track to another location that isn't pertinent to the story whatsoever. I left there with about 250 more gold. Nothing special. I began to look around at some of the armors I could craft later on. Some of these looked really fucking cool, and this wasn't even the endgame stuff. Back in the wilderness, I was ambushed by a saber-toothed cat, narrowly surviving. I frantically threw catnip at it. I entered another dungeon and accidentally started the Silent Tongues quest. Unfortunately though, I was not ready to take this on, but I never run from a challenge. I played Ring Around the Rosie with this fella, slaughtered people while they were sleeping, and died an unholy amount of times by the hands of this guy. The other direction in the tomb lied a ceremonial sword, to which I yoinked with grace. Lydia! Lydia! Damn it, Lydia, you're useless! This dude was not easy in any capacity. Oh! Lydia! Lydia! Lydia, please! Oh my god. You absolute scumbag. This fight was over 30 minutes long. Talk about persistence. Damn. My reward for that hard work was a grand total of 4 gold coins. Nice. Oh, and Lydia unfortunately perished. Although it was much deserved as she got me killed 3 times in that fight. Oh, sorry. I didn't know she could die. And now we need to figure out what we should carry that I gave her. I gave her a bunch of shit. The last thing I got here was a ceremonial axe. I used the ceremonial weapons to open up this door. It led me to a boss room in which I died quickly. I reloaded the save from before I entered and got Lydia back. Hooray, but that was an hour wasted. I found this little shrine that had a bunch of goods waiting to be stolen, including an iron helmet with a Magicka enchantment. Is that dragon alive? It is definitely, most definitely alive. Oh no. I did not survive this. I was able to steal the shout from the word wall though. I started my path to the quest and entered an area with a lot of frost trolls. As I was banging my head into my desk, I eventually made it past. I'm level 10 now as well. I spent the perk points in the destruction skill tree. At last, I made it to the quest location. I killed some necromancers, discovered a really strange floating fire creature, looted absolutely everything, and made my way deeper into the dungeon. What is wrong with me, and why can't I resist taking all of the cheese wedges? This must be a universal experience. I found an enchanting table and figured I'd enchant my iron armor just to learn how it all worked. I found another word wall here too. Fade, become ethereal. Sure. Oh hey, I knew one day we would go through a waterfall and there would be a guy back here. Or there would be a chest back here. I used another perk point in enchanting. I kind of guessed that I may need that in the future. I used my whirlwind shout to get past these doors, and upon entering this room, pillars began to rise from the water. I read the note at the end and it said I needed to rent the attic room at the Sleeping Inn in Riverwood. I really went through all of that for something that could have just been sent to me via pigeon. This chest kinda made it worth it, but not really. I spent the next little while looting and unlocking new fast travel locations on the map.
Let's see here. Ah, a letter from the Jarl. Moving up in the world, eh? Looks like that's it. Got to go.
I read the letter and it told me that I need to speak with the Jarl of Falkreath. It also said that in doing so I may earn the ability to buy a plot of land. That's an immediate yes from me.
The Dawn Guard is looking for anyone willing to fight against the growing vampire menace. What do you say?
No idea what this means, but apparently they are vampire hunters, so count me in. I needed to talk to a fella at Fort Dawn Guard to get started. At this point, I'm beginning to become very overwhelmed by the amount of quests I'm accruing. For every one quest completed, I get 5 more. I fast traveled back to Riverwood and asked about renting the attic room. Turns out Delphine was the one looking for me. She's a member of an organization full of dragon hunters called the Blades. And since dragons haven't been around for a long time, the Blades grew dormant and had no purpose. They supposedly serve a Dragonborn. That's me. I am him. She states that I'm the only one capable of killing a dragon permanently by devouring its soul. She then tells me that she's going to give me a chance to prove it, as dragons have been coming back to life. This is Alduin's doing, raising them provided that their soul still remains. I stole all of her ingredients, dump all of my junk into her chest, and head out to find this dragon she speaks of. Before going there, I dropped this horn off to the Greybeards. They taught me the final word of unrelenting force, and once again entered me without my permission. Then for some reason start screaming bloody murder in my ears. It was so loud for me I actually yanked my earbuds out. Oh yes. I left their circle jerk right after that. Next, I stopped by Whiterun to purchase the house for 5,000 gold from a dude named Proventus. Bro was definitely bullied growing up, could have been straight out of Harry Potter. I got the achievement for buying my first home too. I entered my new house and it was uncomfortably empty. No matter though, I just wanted this so I had a place to store my items where I knew I wouldn't lose them. I used this guy to fast travel over to Windhelm, and after killing a completely innocent goat, I met up with Delphine. I made it there just in time to see the dragon being raised from the dead. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what this dude just said, but I've got to admit it was pretty cool seeing the dragon climb out of his own grave as if he had just got back home from a bender. This dragon appeared to be much weaker than the one I had discovered on that mountain earlier. I stole his bones, of course, then it proceeded to enter me just like the rest have. I found this much nicer than when the Greybeards did it. After she realizes I'm actually Dragonborn, she tells me what I already told you when we met her. The next mission is called Diplomatic Immunity. I must infiltrate the Thalmor embassy to find out if they are the cause of the returning dragons. Once again though, I wander around like a lost puppy looking for things to steal and people to kill. I ran back over to Windhelm and accidentally paid this guy to take me to Solstheim. Once there, I realized my mistake and paid again to go back. I meet back up with Delphine and we discuss the plan to infiltrate the embassy. I spent the next 2.5 hours doing virtually nothing, just running around discovering locations and looting. However, I did accidentally wander into another dragon's territory, except this time the dragon wasn't able to get the better of me. I absorbed its soul and learned the word from this wall. I also stopped and trained my archery with a random lady on top of a mountain. This was a weird moment for me. Slowly but surely, I meandered my way into Falkreath. I talked to the Jarl and he gave me a task in order to become Thane. Inside a ruin on the way there, I found a shard of Mehrunes razor. This will be important later. I made it to the Jarl's task and slaughtered everyone until the quest was done. I returned to Falkreath to tell the Jarl the mission was a success and was awarded the ability to purchase land nearby. My only issue is that I don't have 5,000 gold anymore. I only have 3,000. So I spent the next while selling a ton of my stuff until I hit 5k. As soon as I did, I went back to Falkreath and sealed the deal, purchasing my first property. I was very confused when the dragon showed up in the middle of town though, I can't lie. This is our plot of land, baby. Okay, so what do we got in here? The chest had a bunch of materials to get us started on building the house. I placed the first blueprint down, and once completed, I was shown a bunch of things I can add on, such as a smelter, stable, grindstone, etc. I went for the smelter first, then the workbench and grindstone. I'm not really going to show the decorating process, but I will show when I expand the house. I fast traveled over to Solitude and began the process of sneaking into the embassy. I gave this guy everything I needed him to sneak in for me. I got into the ride and so it begins. I made it inside and after answering 6,000 questions, I was led into the kitchen. This connects to the rest of the place, making it much easier to sneak around, although I opted not to do so. It was infinitely more fun to watch the world and perhaps these people burn for their crimes. If they've committed any, I don't know, I'm running on instinct here, okay? I found what I was after. I read the note and found myself killing even more people down in the cellars. I collected this last journal, saved this prisoner, and booked it out of there even though everyone in this building is deceased, and I have nobody to run from. I arrived back in Riverwood and told Delphine about my findings. After this quest was done, I decided it might be a good time to give some of the other achievements a go, or at least make some kind of progress towards them. First things first, I spent some time upgrading my house. I was almost done constructing the main hall. I also returned the Golden Claw to its rightful owner in the process. Another dragon caught these hands as well. After the main hall was done, I got a bit overwhelmed by the add-on options moving forward. I was able to fully complete the Enchanter's Tower though. It looks great from the outside, but not much going on inside, which may or may not have caused me to shed a tear. The next wing I added was for storage. I was unfortunately unable to build it all right away. I gave this guy an Iverstead a journal and he gave me a key for this door that I didn't have a while ago. Cremation seemed like a lovely tactic to ensure these skeletons do not bother me anymore. I solved another puzzle and killed a big bad boss guy that usually inhabits the end of these dungeons. My reward was 200 gold and a shout. By the way, I'd love to show more of the looting, but since I'm a mage, just about the only thing I'm getting from all of this is gold. I was able to leave this ruin with my dignity still in place. After exploring around Iverstead, looting any and all locations, and eliminating the local wildlife, I managed to find Marita's beacon. This will also be important later. Quest of some sort.
A new hand touches the beacon.
Huh?
Listen, hear me and obey. A foul darkness has seeped into my temple. A darkness that you will destroy. Return my beacon to Mount Kilcreath. And I will make you the instrument of my cleansing light.
I don't know, this kind of seems like a scam to me. The Break of Dawn. Are you all evil or are you friendly? Oh, it's an Imperial camp. Well, what can I steal from y'all? That would be the first question I ask, wouldn't it? I must point out that I did not make the connection between the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. Trolling along, minding my own business, these foul creatures snuck up on me, so I dealt with them accordingly. Apparently these were vampires. To my knowledge, no wooden stake was used. I may or may not have blacked out, I'm not sure. Okay. If that wasn't weird enough though, I talked to a ghost in Morthal. I killed a vampire once more, and it would appear that this guy may have known her. Oh shit, that was his wife. My bad, broski. Plenty of fish and all, you'll be alright. I guess vampires do sleep in coffins? Shit, TV and games got me mixed up. They're familiar with eternity though, so surely this permanent nap won't bother her. Really living up to the trope of, vampires sleeping in coffins, huh? Man, we've killed 2 people in this town already. I don't think we provide good residence. This theme will probably continue. I talked to the Jarl and she ordered me to kill a vampire master. Sounds exciting. Yeah, so that was a bit easier than anticipated. I talked to the Jarl once more and in her eyes that was not enough to deem me thane. Man, these big ass crabs really are not happy to be here. Chill out, bro. Alright, Lydia, whatever you do, don't get me killed. That's a mighty tall ask right there. Okay, but seriously, how many of these claw-key doors exist in the realm of Skyrim? This is my 3rd one now. I killed the big bad guy here too. This one had an amulet that increases health, so that's pretty nice. Okay, pause for just a moment. What the actual fuck is this? Burn it, eat it, toast it, I do not care, but keep it away from me. That thing is disgusting, dude. I used this guy once more to fast travel over to Winterhold. There's no shot I'm running that whole distance. I may or may not have drowned at some point trying to find a ship underwater. I don't want to talk about it. When you die, you have to load your last save. So I was back at the house and found this guardian wolf spirit. I'm gonna go on a limb and say this was supposed to be a bit harder. What the hell? I was expecting it to be hard. Then I saw a giant wipe out a dragon, and since I've never seen it before, I made it my duty to end its existence. One really strange thing that happened was when I entered this cave inside a mountain, and I was able to see the sky from the inside. Someone explained to me how that works. What do? Go to Narnia? It says we're still in the mountain. What the hell is going on? This is some Inception type shit. I found a sword called Bolar's Oathblade here. Also, there was a Shrine of Talos here too. More on that later if I remember. I killed a guardian mud crab and fast traveled to Riften only to immediately get arrested. I'm still asking myself what the hell I did. I literally have not even been here yet. All I did was sleep to pass my time in the cellar. I entered this random dungeon up towards Winterhold and discovered this group called the Silver Hand. I know nothing about them except that they carry silver swords. And if Skyrim uses the werewolf stereotype, they are susceptible to silver. Some of these guys were pretty tanky too, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so I think I was right. This guy did not enjoy his death, I'm sure. This one had been left alive though. What the hell? Why'd they kill a horse for? Whoa, how did you get out? Okay, that scared the hell out of me. What do they do, torture them? That's so mean. I mean, I get that they're werewolves, but fuck. Bye. Okay, you're not gonna believe this. After over 20 hours of gameplay, I finally swapped out my iron armor for steel armor. Can you believe it? Took me long enough. My defense went from 48 to 82. I used the nearby workbench to increase my armor quality to superior. After leaving that dungeon, I ran around for a bit and noticed that I can just swing my pickaxe normally to mine ores. It's about twice as fast. At the top of some mountain, I found a shrine of Azora. I get my first Daedric quest from this lady.
You must go to a fortress, endangered by water, yet untouched by it.
I'm sorry, what? We already established in my last video that riddles are not my thing, bro. After all that rambling, I bought a coral claw from this lady for whatever reason and ended up joining the College of Winterhold. It was here that I talked to so many people that my brain hurt. I also took a class here about protection spells. This guy was the one that I needed to speak to for the Daedric quest. A dude put his soul into a star thing, so I was tasked to go find it. Some people were protecting it, but they were no match. This room was quite hectic as well at some points, but I got my grubby little hands on the star. I brought it back and my soul was sent into the star in order to remove the one currently inhabiting it. This guy was weaker than I had imagined. When I returned, I demanded that he give it to me and received the black star. Acquire a Daedric artifact. Let's go! It's a pretty cool looking item in my opinion. It's essentially just a soul gem that isn't consumable. All I'd have to do is refill the soul. I finished the third wing on my house and got that achievement too. The main thing I wanted to do in the house was add stuff to the storage room. This way I could move everything inside the house. I also gave each category of item their own storage place. This way they'll be easier to sift through. I'm not sure why, but I really wanted to see what a full bookshelf looked like. I've been hoarding so many items at this point that I was able to build an alchemy station without even blinking. I completed another mission with the Winterhold College and was informed that I'm entrusted to eliminate some sort of evil. What is this? Oh, you, sir, are not friendly. I used a staff to take down the barrier. I was pretty fascinated by it, and so was everybody else.
I have no idea. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, hey. There's a little shout down here for me. I told this guy about the orb and was sent on my way. The next quest I didn't really want to do because it's called Hitting the Books. It doesn't take a genius to figure out why. He just wanted me to fetch some books for him. How the hell did I find myself in Markarth, dude? Oop, am I dead? Yep, I'm dead. Okay, somebody explain to me the purpose of what it is I'm doing here. I'm just beating the absolute shit out of this lady for 3.5 minutes straight. Then at the end, she tells me I'm a noble adversary or something like that. Surely this is a dream. Hit her with that right hook. Hit her with that right hook. Hit her with that left hook. Hit her with a right hook again. Next, I had a drink with this guy and woke up in a completely unknown location with a woman yelling at me. This relates to my real life all too well. Get me out. It was now time to talk to the leader of the companions. I trained with a guy named Vilkas and was deemed worthy. I was pretty much just the errand boy for the first while though.
Thor and Vilkas might have things for you to do. Good luck. Welcome to the companions.
And there's another achievement. As I was doing things for the companions, I discovered 100 locations. I went to fetch one of the books for that orc in Winterhold and was interrupted by the caller. She wouldn't hand the books over, so I stopped asking. Alas, 3 out of 3 books recovered. Urag just said he'd looked them over for some useful information. This guy Quaranir, I don't know if I'm saying that right, tells me about the Eye of Magnus and that it must be destroyed. It's immensely powerful and apparently the world isn't ready to handle it. In the meantime, Farkas and I were in the middle of a mission when we got ambushed. Bro turned into a werewolf right in front of me and the murder I bore witness to was impeccable. This mission was a really long one overall, but we retrieved the fragments and the mission was a success. Completing that proved my worth to the companions.
I would stand at his back, that the world might never overtake us. It stands ready to meet the blood of his foes.
The leader told me I need to find my place in the inner circle to become a werewolf. For my next trick, I slaughtered a village and saved a prisoner. Later that night, I met up with a companion member and we entered a room through a secret door. Immediately waiting for me was a werewolf standing in a massive bowl.
Are you prepared to join your spirit with the beast world, friend?
They put werewolf blood into the bowl and it would appear that I drank it. I woke up later as a wolf and proceeded to annihilate anyone possible. Feeding on the hearts of my enemies gives progress towards the next level since wolves have their own skill tree. Ah, the blood oath has been completed. We took out a camp nearby and I used that opportunity to eat every heart that I could. The only reason I'm doing this is because there's an achievement for reaching max level 11 with the werewolf acquiring all of the perks. This is what that skill tree looks like. Nothing too crazy, but there are some beneficial passive perks. I ended my time in the camp by killing the leader and gnawing on his heart. It's a bit chewy, like rubber. At this point, I've collected a ton of enchanted weapons that I can now disenchant. I'm slowly trying to work up my level so that I can enchant armor sets. I enchanted my steel armor with stuff that I might find useful, but my level isn't high enough to make any good difference yet. I bought a lightning bolt spellbook too. For reference and character growth, we are now level 18 at this moment. I raided this village and managed to take down a blood dragon, which is just a dragon but stronger, I guess. Next, I opened another one of these damn claw doors, and oh shit, surprise, there's another right behind it. I had collected all 3 amulet fragments, so I placed them on these pedestals. I then proceeded to jam 3 epipins into my leg to destroy these guardian ghost creatures. This was not easy, leave me alone. These dudes had me playing Guess Who Done It. I felt inferior in every capacity. After they were all defeated, I was able to claim my prize. This amulet is nuts and I will use it for quite some time. I built an arcane enchanter at the house too. This will make leveling up my enchanting quite a bit easier. I only wanted to use my alchemy for health potions, so I put a couple perk points into it. Your boy just spent hours and hours making 0 progress doing miscellaneous quests. These count towards nothing, by the way, unless it's a prerequisite. It's great for random loot and gold, but that's all. I talked to a general in Solitude and began the quest to join the Imperials. But instead of doing that, I found myself in a completely different fort talking to a ghost about mythical treasure no one's ever been able to find. I'm not even going to begin to try to pronounce the name of this place. This was my first introduction to Dwarven tech. I don't know if these are robots or creatures, really not sure how I should word this. I'm gonna just call them robots for now. Turns out these ruins are very intricate in design, usually with a few puzzles to solve, and sometimes I feel like I'm fighting tooth and nail just to find my way out of the maze. There are 4 of these Aetherium shards that I will need to find in ruins just like this one. Let me just slam my toes into the nearest door real quick. This room also had a ton of dwarven materials. I found my first piece of ebony gear in this chest. I believe this is what got me motivated to level up my smithing later. The sheer amount of BS that I was carrying with me by the end of that was insane. I feel like every time I leave my house, my inventory is full within 5 minutes. So here was my accidental strategy. These Civil War missions involve slaughtering a bunch of enemies, so what better time to use the werewolf than right now? This proved to level me up very quickly. I've officially chosen a side for the Civil War between the Imperials and the Stormcloaks.
Well then, repeat after me. Upon my honor, I do swear undying loyalty to the Emperor Titus Mede II, and unwavering obedience to the officers of his great empire. May those above judge me, and those below take me, if I fail in my duty. Long live the Emperor, long live the Empire. Welcome to the Imperial Legion, soldier.
First thing they did was give me a full set of their Imperial armor, which was some straight ass. So apparently there is a quest with a talking dog? Yes, I am also just as confused.
My master and I had a bit of a falling out. We got into an argument and it got rather heated. He's kicking me out until I find someone who can settle our disagreement. That's where you come in.
I can already confirm that this is my least favorite character so far. The dog wanted me to follow him to the top of fucking Mount Chiliad or something because I swear we were walking for over 10 minutes. Yeah, I take that back. After combing through the footage, it was actually twice that. He kept getting turned around for some reason. Alas, there was indeed a destination we were heading towards. I thought I was being pranked.
By all means, let's hear it. It's the least I could do since you already helped me grant one final wish for my last worshippers.
Okay, so now there's talking statues. Anyone want to tell me who spiked my coffee?
That insufferable pup. Forget it. Request denied. No deal. I'm glad to be rid of him.
Yeah, I can't blame you there, dude. Whining and barking aside, I'm told that I need to retrieve a really powerful axe. Seems simple enough. I killed a dragon, absorbed its soul, and entered a cave that supposedly held this rueful axe. Who in their right mind would name someone Sebastian Lart? I stole his axe while he was healing and then killed him with that axe so he doesn't come from my family later. Turns out this axe was a bit stronger than the spells I was using.
A wizard named Sebastian Lord had a daughter who worshipped her scene.
Yeah, I really couldn't care any less. I returned the axe to Clavicus Vile, and in return I received the Mask of Clavicus. It's got some beneficial buffs on it. That was also my second Daedric artifact. I'm not sure why I ended up here, but I was running around way up north past Winterhold. I discovered a strange cube structure and a guy named Septimus Cygnus.
The Elder Scroll gives insight deeper than the deep ones, though, to bring about the opening.
If someone said this in real life, they'd most likely be spending a lot of time in a mental institute, but I digress. Apparently I need to make my way to a place called Blackreach in order to find one of these Elder Scrolls. Cygnus gave me a blank lexicon and an attunement sphere. I fast traveled over to Alfdan to begin my search. Oh damn, it's another dwarven ruin. This place is going to take hours. What the hell are these? They remind me of something familiar, but I can't pinpoint it. The good thing about this place though is that there are tons and tons of soul gems up for grabs. Yeah, this ruin was way bigger than the other one, with a lot more dwarven enemies too. Rest assured, I did eventually make it to Blackreach. The cool thing about this place is that there are ore nodes that just straight up give you soul gems. This will come in quite handy for enchanting. I spent way too long mining all of these ore nodes. The quest marker led me to this old gear-driven elevator, which led me up to this room that looked nothing like I had ever seen before. I mashed a bunch of buttons, and to my surprise, there it was. An Elder Scroll, just waiting to be lifted from its home. The only door in that room led me to the surface. I returned to Cygnus and returned to the newly inscribed lexicon. And of course, I have an insanely annoying task to complete before I'm able to finish. I have to collect a bunch of blood from different races. On my way out, I was interrupted by the Tentacle of Death.
Come closer. Bask in my presence.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'll be doing that. The blob states that it's been watching me, and to summarize the rest, it wants me to serve it. I said I would just to get it to shut up and let me out. After I got out, I traveled all over Skyrim collecting the blood that was required. Not sure how I found myself here, but I killed a guy named Red Eagle. A courier then gave me an invitation to some sort of museum too. My enchanting skill is coming along nicely. I collected the last of the blood and returned to Cygnus. The massive cube opened up, and when Cygnus tried to read the book inside, he was instantly evaporated. Although I didn't care about this and was able to read and take it just fine. That book also happened to be a Daedric artifact, so I'm now 3 out of 15.
Come, my champion. Now, you have my Ogma Infinium. It contains the knowledge of the ages, as revealed to Xarxes, my loyal servant.
I read the book and chose the Path of Magic. All it did was level up my magic skill trees. I then collected Mehrunes Razor, which was my first encounter with an enemy called Dremora. These are important though, as I get Daedra hearts from looting their bodies. The next artifact quest caused me to get probed by some aliens, so I made the executive decision to switch back over to the Civil War quest line. The Imperials and I began ravaging the Stormcloaks, and there was absolutely nothing they could do about it. I returned the Jagged Crown and I got promoted to... Wait a minute, did I just get demoted to Messenger? What the actual fuck? This whole quest was just a bunch of fast traveling and talking, although later on it began to look like I was stirring up a bit of drama. Bro, why does her face look like that? Anyways, I assisted in the defense of Whiterun against the Stormcloaks. I can't really say I had all that much trouble though. And while I was working on a retaliation plan, a Dark Brotherhood assassin tried and failed to kill me. I used that pent up anger and directed 100% of it over to the Stormcloaks. After that, I blackmailed somebody I've never met. With the new information I gathered, we were able to ambush the Stormcloak caravan. Then we raided Fort Greenwall, and it was an absolute slaughterfest. At the end, I received an achievement for it. Now I know I've skipped a few quests here, but this is the most important one for a big reason. For some reason, after it said 0% remaining, perhaps since I was in werewolf form, the Stormcloaks never stopped spawning. I spent the next 45 minutes in here endlessly killing Stormcloaks, eating their hearts, and was able to leave there with a max level 11 werewolf. I returned to the Imperial camp and the battle for Windhelm began. This quest was honestly probably the most fun that I've had the entire playthrough so far. It was non-stop chaos and murder, two things that I deeply love in video games. Unfortunately, it all had to come to an end. It all came down to this one conversation with the Jarl. I'll let you take a guess how that went for him, but that was it. It was all over. The Civil War had been won.
It's been an honor to have you at my side.
By using this transmutation spell, I was able to transform hundreds and hundreds of iron ore into gold ore. I've been saving them for this moment. I had at this point in my game an ungodly amount of gems and gold to use, although later I could make a run around to the mines. I was enchanting the rings I was crafting too. It increases their value and my enchanting level. After selling most of it, I ended up with around 35,000 gold. It would have been higher, but I've also been buying all of the soul gems and ores that are for sale. My next strange interaction was talking with this spirit. It was worth it though, because I got 2 Daedric artifacts from this mission. First, I got the Ring of Hircine. Then after killing this werewolf named Sending, I was able to skin his hide, and that granted me the Savior's Hide artifact. I went and killed more Dremoras for Daedra hearts too. The next artifact I obtained was called the Volendrung. I'm sure I'm butchering that name though. My next one had me speak to a strange door, and behind it lied an ebony blade that ran on sacrificial power, or at least that's my understanding of it. I was slightly sad that it was a two-handed weapon though. The quest where I got probed by aliens earlier actually ended up giving me the Dawnbreaker, and a free fall from outer space, but we don't talk about that. In my opinion, the Dawnbreaker is one of the coolest looking Daedric artifacts out of all of them. I'll keep this one on me as a backup weapon. For this next quest, I had to track down this priest, trap him in this little contraption, and then beat the hell out of him until he submitted. And then I killed him. This earned me the Molag Ball. I have done so many dungeons that I've had to skip over at this point that I got the achievement for clearing 50 dungeons. I honestly believed that this achievement was going to suck in the long run, but I guess I was wrong. I spoke to Eola, convinced this guy to come with me, then killed him on this altar. I also had to temporarily become a cannibal and eat a part of him. This gave me the Ring of Namira, another artifact. This quest took me over 2 hours to push through. At the end, I had to take on this guy. I tried pronouncing his name, but I butchered it terribly. This was a pretty long damn fight, although no one's taken me out yet, so this guy definitely won't be the one to do it. I reported my success and received the Spellbreaker Shield. Next, I collected the sanguine rose. Then I had to listen to these two bicker like an old married couple. I solved a couple puzzles to prove my worthiness, and I was rewarded with the Wabbajack. Then I betrayed this poor fella so that I could steal this artifact for myself. It granted me the Skull of Corruption, and at last the achievement for collecting 15 Daedric artifacts was completed. I know I made that process seem quick, but I promise you that took so many hours. I opted to keep all of my artifacts in one chest because it looked so good seeing them together like this. Oh, and surprise, I have Feindal as a follower. No idea when I picked him up though. And just as a little progress update, we are level 31 now. Wow, I still remember when these guys used to be hard. I started back over to the main story quests and found myself rummaging around in the sewers beneath Riften. Then I found this place and interrogated the bartender for some information. I learned more about the Thieves Guild and got a general direction as to where I could find a guy named Esbern. Bro, Feindal just butchered a deaf person. Man's an actual menace. I found Esbern and he talked about the prophecy involving Alduin and the fact that we will never beat him. We hastily returned to Delphine to discuss our next move. Esbern mentioned a Skyhaven temple. Apparently he's an expert on dragon lore. After reaching the temple, our poor Feindal appeared to have been slain. Rest in peace, old friend. Anyways, we make it to some strange door. I found a dragonbone sword, and if you know me, you know that I'm a massive fan of katana-like weapons. I started wearing orcish armor here too. The steel is just out of style these days. Then we began reading Alduin's Wall. It essentially just told a story of the past and how Alduin was defeated long ago. Apparently Delphine isn't a fan of the Greybeards either. I needed to pay them a visit to see if they could teach me this shout I needed to take Alduin down. They told me they didn't know it. They also weren't going to help me either, but they realized it's literally their job to assist the Dragonborn. I learned the Clear Skies shout, they entered me once again, and I spark up a conversation with a dragon named Parthenax.
I am as my father Akatosh made me, as are you, Dovahkiin. Tell me, why do you come here, Volan? Why do you intrude on my meditation?
He taught me a fire-breathing shout first and had me use it on him. He then tells me it was destiny for Alduin and Dragonborn to return together, and that he didn't know the Dragonrin shout. It was created by us as a weapon against them. I'm then told that I need to find an Elder Scroll to revisit the past and learn the shout. Good thing is, I happen to have already found this scroll. I pulled it out of my prison pocket, learned the shout, and watched a fight between Alduin and a couple Joes. When I awoke, Alduin was waiting for me. I was able to use the Dragonrin shout to ground him, allowing me to inflict some major damage. He unfortunately escaped my grasp. I traveled back to Dragon's Reach to talk to the Jarl about trapping a dragon. Then the Blades told me to kill Parthenax, to which I refused because I kind of liked him. Then I trapped the dragon. We had a drawn-out conversation, but concluded that I needed him to fly me to the location called Sodafin. Hopping on the back of a dragon for flight was a weird experience. I fought my way through this place and found many more enemies. This place was damn near endless. Thank God nothing's infinite. I found another claw-keyed door which made me want to fist my eyes out, but that's no matter. All of this ultimately led me here, to a portal to Sovngarde, which I assumed is Skyrim's version of heaven. I explored a while and made my way here. I had to best this guy in a duel in order to gain entrance into the Hall of Valor. Once inside, we got the warriors together and discussed a plan to take out Alduin. Not much time later, the battle had begun. The moment we've been fighting towards. We were all fighting at 110%, giving it everything we have, and through sheer willpower, we were able to take the World Eater down for good. It's over. Skyrim, our world, has been saved. Okay, I'm hopping out of character for a moment to just admire how insanely cool this death scene was. Also, the effort put into Alduin as a whole. He's hands down one of the coolest game-related dragons that I've ever seen. So badass. And I can genuinely say that I've enjoyed just about every minute that I've spent playing this game so far. I know there's still much more to do, but I figured this was a good time to say it. I spoke to this guy and he was happy and able to send me back to Tamriel. Whenever I got back, for some reason there were about a dozen dragons gathered around just looking at me. The next thing on our to-do list was to grind all the way to enchanting level 100, and I did after quite a while. This allowed me to unlock the perk granting me the ability to put 2 enchantments on a single item. Before I could finish grinding my smithing level though, I got a tad distracted and found Fort Dawnguard. After speaking to Isran, I was given a quest. I made my way into the dim hollow crypt and had to slay a bunch of vampires. Deep inside the crypt was a series of hellhounds, a strange little puzzle, and a mysterious woman entombed inside a hidden pillar. She's a vampire, of course, and she had been in there for quite some time. She then asked me to help her get back home. Okay, so we have talking dogs, talking statues, and now statues that come back to life in the form of gargoyles. Fantastic. We make it back to her castle and she warns me that it may be a hostile environment. I returned the woman to Harkon, and it's pretty obvious that this is his daughter.
This is my savior, the one who freed me.
For my daughter's safe return, you have my gratitude. Tell me, what is your name?
His gift to me for saving his daughter was to offer to turn me into a vampire, in which I accept because there are some duties that I will need to embark upon. Turning into a vampire for the first time was a pretty cool experience, much different than the usual vampires we see. I also have much more power than the normal vampires. I got a bit curious and took a little gander at the skill tree. I'm then given a task involving the Bloodstone Chalice. This chalice would need to be filled at a blood spring in the Redwater Den. I used that mission to level up my vampire since I was able to eliminate these enemies fairly quickly. I killed these 2 people and proceeded to fill the chalice. I talked to Harkon and the quest line continues. For a little while these quests won't be relevant to our 100% though. Next I found 2 really easy Ethereum shards. Then I had to explore a massive dungeon to get my hands on the final shard. I met with the strange ghost lady and this appears to be the Ethereum Forge. While after combining the shards together, the pillar that comes up from the ground is actually the path leading to the forge. And of course there were puzzles, but the forge was within reach. I had to fend off waves and waves of robotic enemies, then the big bitch comes crawling out of the lava ready to humble me. Can't blame the Forge Master though, he didn't realize that I'm him. I used the Ethereum Forge to craft the crown. This makes it so that I can use 2 standing stone buffs at once, however I never ended up using it. Not even 10 minutes later, I got arrested for causing a minor disturbance. I used this opportunity to escape from the jail, although not sure how slaughtering the guards went unnoticed for the rest of my playthrough. Anyways, I did all of that for an achievement, and not even 2 seconds later I was arrested once more, for the same crime. I collected some debts for the Thieves Guild and was able to join after I returned. I was then shown their secret room of operations and I spoke to Mercer Frey. The Thieves Guild are a group of stealthy individuals who are essentially crime regulators, as they don't tolerate competition. This is why later in the game the police give leniency towards guild members. I'm now told that I need to send a message to an old client of the Thieves Guild. I burned some beehives, 3 to be exact, and robbed them blind of their valuables. This may have led to a lot of lives lost. Not mine though. I returned the items I stole from the safe to the guild. I was then sent to Jarl Maven to carry out some tasks. The first of which was to collect a poison from a man in Whiterun. Next I had to help another man with a pest infestation. In doing so, I was granted the opportunity to poison the meat here, which was my main objective. Then I found information Maven needed upstairs in that same building. I returned to Riften to deliver it. While I was completing those quests, I got the achievement for reading 50 skill books. Then I killed a frost dragon, and after absorbing its soul, I got the achievement for absorbing 20 dragon souls. Mercer Frey and I cleared a dungeon after that, which had us go through another claw key door. As soon as we went through though, I fell unconscious. This was Carlia's doing, but in the end, Mercer is the one who stabs me. I don't know about you, but I'm lost as hell. I'ma just say Mercer isn't a good guy. I got all the way up to becoming a nightingale, and the previous 3 hours of footage corrupted, so unfortunately I have to pick up here. This is when I'm told what Mercer's real crime was. To summarize, he betrayed the guild and essentially cursed it with bad luck, all because he wanted power. I don't think I meant to do that. Moving on from that, I was still constantly leveling up my vampire and I succeeded in getting to max level 11 here. I was so sick of using this damn creature by the time I finished it. At the end of our path, we came into contact with Mercer and it was time to put an end to his power. And about 10 seconds later, he croaked out of reality. I looted his body and retrieved the skeleton key that gave him his power. I told Carlia that I'd return the key and we parted ways. Now with much regret, once again I had a video file corrupt itself, so I'm unable to show the process of returning the key or the perk that I got from completing it. This was also where I got the achievement for completing the Darkness Returns quest, so I was more than a little pissed that I lost the footage. Fast forwarding to the College of Winterhold questline, this guy tells me Arcano is the bad guy. Then Arcano essentially says the Eye of Magnus will be used to destroy everything, so I went out and found the Staff of Magnus, which of course meant more dungeon crawling for me. With that staff, I ended the almighty Arcano that isn't all that mighty. Then I'm told that I'm now the Archmage, whatever that means, and he proceeds to run off with the Eye of Magnus. All in all, I hated this questline, and I refused to spend more than 3 minutes telling its story. After heading back to the house, I figured it might finally be time to add all that extra stuff to the storage room, just to make it a bit more pleasing to look at. I then began focusing on my smithing level and got it all the way up to ebony armor. First I crafted the helmet and bow. Then I made the chest piece and the gauntlets. I put fire damage and soul trapping on my bow, stamina regen and increased health on my chest plate, carry weight and sneak to my boots, sneak and carry weight to my gauntlets. Then for whatever reason I put fortify illusion and lockpicking on my helmet. The next armors I enchant I will just summarize their function. I chopped some wood and got the achievement for chopping, mining, and cooking something. Next I bought the bedroom upgrade for my home so that I could adopt this random child that I found wandering the street. I didn't own a white van or candy at this time, so I'm innocent.
I promise I'll be the best daughter ever.
What the fuck? Yeah, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed on that one. I spoke to another child, except this one was trying to summon an assassin from the Dark Brotherhood. He needed me to kill an abusive foster mother. I have absolutely no issues with seeing that contract through. I even pulled out my bow just so that I can make it hurt as much as possible. I say it's a pretty bad sign when your foster kids don't care that you just got blasted in the face by an arrow. The child was grateful for my actions. I spoke to a strange wizard and turns out he had the ability to cure my vampirism. Thank God, this sunlight thing is awful. My next task on the list was to buy a piece of land in Morthal, which you can see here. I also needed to buy a piece of land in Dawnstar, which I did not too long after. This completed the purchase 3 plots of land achievement. I was feeling pretty spent after a full day of helping people, so I decided to go to sleep for the first time in 8 years. I awoke in a place unfamiliar to me with an assassin sitting in the creepiest position possible.
old hag gets butchered in her own orphanage, things like that tend to get around. Oh, but don't misunderstand. I'm not criticizing. It was a good kill. Old Crone had it coming. And you saved a group of urchins to boot. But there is a slight problem.
Isn't there always? Apparently I stole a contract from them and I now need to make even. She makes me choose one out of these 3 people to sentence to death. I chose the fellow on the left. Because of this, I now had an opportunity to join the Dark Brotherhood. I had nothing else to do, so why not? Once Astrid shut up, I got the achievement and the Dark Brotherhood armor set. I speak with a guy named Nazir and he sends me on 500,000 assassination missions. Most of these people seemed innocent to me, but who am I to judge? I then had another assassination quest, but I guess I already killed him. I'm not sure because it was completed instantly, I don't know. When I got back, Astrid explains that she believes someone is planning something behind her back and needs me to investigate. So logically, I hid in a coffin with a rotting corpse. This so-called Night Mother called me the One right before I was discovered in my hiding. Essentially, just a bunch of drama happened here with the clown being very excited and Astrid being a bit guarded, since her status at the sanctuary may be under threat. Yeah, I'm sure you guessed it, but I had to kill more people. Next, Astrid tells me to investigate this crypt involving an unknown person. The unknown person wanted me to deliver some things to Astrid, including the fact that he wanted me to kill the Emperor. Before that, though, I killed somebody who looked quite important in the middle of the day around tons of people. Those room temp IQ guards didn't even come for me. Oh shit, apparently that was the Emperor's cousin. Whoops. To sum most of this quest line up, in order to not have this video reach the 2-hour mark, I killed this clown, poisoned an Emperor body double, and when I got back, the sanctuary was under siege. Many of my fellow members perished, including Astrid. She was burnt so bad that I had to put an arrow in her and stop the suffering. Oh, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but this is the Night Mother. Pretty creepy, right? Anyways, I found the real Emperor hiding in a ship, so I ended his life too. I got the Hail Sithis achievement when I returned. For the Dawn Guard questline, I loaded an old save since I had cured myself in my current one. I found a Moth Priest, in which I used my vampiric seduction and fed on him to make him my thrall. I commanded him to go to the castle. We concluded that I need to find some Elder Scrolls. I was only missing one though. Well, that wasn't very... What the fuck? Not another portal. Jesus! This led me to a very unpleasant dimension. I freed this ancient vampire and wiped my balls all over this dragon's face before proceeding on with the quest. I was able to grab the last Elder Scroll and an assload of ingredients. Before I could leave the dimension, the dragon that I just killed taught me a spell to summon him. This will be important way later on. This time around, I had to actually read the Elder Scroll myself. I'm really not sure what happened here, to be honest. This mission drove me a bit crazy, but I traveled through a portal upon portal upon portal upon portal upon portal, anyway, you get it, until I eventually ended up here and realized that I just did all of that just to kill this guy, and get a bow that I'll use for less than 10 seconds. Oh, and I had to kill Lord Harkon, which was way harder than anything else I've fought in this game so far. I used some of Serena's blood on some arrows and used this special bow to shoot the sun, which turned the sky an eerie red color. This was honestly a pretty cool experience. Next, I bought an item called the Amulet of Mara. I upgraded all of my ebony gear into an epic variant too. I then proposed to Camilla, a lady that has 2 dudes crawling at her feet at all times and have been for the whole game so far. I'm going to hell. Camilla and I got married that next day. She will never see me again though, because I will never visit my home in Whiterun. 2 minutes later, I went to this lady and hit the change my face option to get that achievement. I then realized that I hadn't fully completed the Companions quest line. Oh my god, what the hell, there's 2 of these? Disgusting. The Companions home was raided by the time I returned. I promptly enacted my revenge against the Silver Hand. Oh wow, I just realized this was a place that I had already cleared countless hours ago. I started the mission Glory of the Dead, and the Companions and I had a quick funeral for Kodlak. I went through a tomb after and had to kill my way through some Companions' ghost. And would you look at that, Kodlak's ghost is still around. I don't know how true this is because I haven't done any research, but to my understanding, in order to put Kodlak to rest, we had to destroy his wolf spirit, binding him to the mortal plane. And that was it. We've completed the Thieves Guild main quests, the College of Winterhold, Dark Brotherhood, Companions, Dawnguard, the Blades, and the Daedric stuff, and I'm sure there's many more that I'm missing, but that's the general list. I spent the next couple hours doing random side quests to try and lower my active quest count. It was starting to stress me out. I went back to the house and grabbed just about everything valuable that I had stored. As you can see, I'm at 91,000 gold here. I just need 9k more to get to 100k. It took quite a while, but at the end of the day, not nearly as long as some of the other stuff that I've done. This here was one of the most annoying quests to date. I had to go to my other 2 properties that I had bought and put a main hall and 3 wings on both houses. That is an absurd amount of resources, and I did not enjoy this process in the slightest bit. I was very relieved when I finally finished it. I fast traveled over to a wizard in Winterhold and bought as many destruction spells as I could. I needed higher level spells. I believe this Thunderbolt spell will do. Now this wouldn't be a Skyrim video without at least one exploit. I chose to use an exploit for leveling my character. Not only is that the hardest process, but it's also the most time consuming. I chose one that didn't break the game entirely. I'm using it here since I'm at a paused point unless I level up a large amount. Don't worry, it does not break the game, at least not for me. I also chose a method that was incredibly slow to make it as painful as possible. I only got up to level 44 here here, so a total of 4 levels. I then just sat here holding a book with telekinesis, for whatever reason. Next, I enchanted an amulet for 25% reduced destruction cost and more one-handed damage. I renamed it too so I wouldn't accidentally sell it. Right after that, I did the exact same thing to a ring. My old ebony armor wasn't cutting it anymore, so I made an entirely new set. This time around, I enchanted the armor around a destruction mage, and after equipping all of the pieces, my destruction skills costed 0 magicka to cast. I'm attempting to be semi-organized with these achievements, so I went around and got the learn 20 shouts, find 13 standing stones, complete 10 side quests, pick 50 locks and pockets, and I hit level 50 shortly after. But you won't see the level 50 for just a minute. Now that we've completed all of the achievements in the base game portion, it's time to make our way over to Solstheim, the Dragonborn DLC. The very first guy
do you have some Canis Ruti? I need some Canis Ruti right now.
I don't think so.
You don't have any? Well, fuck you then!
Anyways, I interacted with this shrine and got sent into a trance. I woke up an unknown amount of time later, mindlessly working. A tad strange, I won't lie. I spoke to a blacksmith and got a quest to retrieve an ancient Nordic pickaxe. I noticed he was selling a Stalrim sword too, which made me remember an achievement involving that material. I ventured outside of the main town and obliterated a camp not too far out. I made it to the Temple of Miraak and the place had an eerie aura overall. I can't really describe it. I talked to Freya and she says she's determined to save her people from whatever it is that's controlling everyone. We started making our way into the temple and had to take out some cultists. Bro, what the hell is this? I'm not coordinated enough for this, man. Moving on, I learned the shout called Dragon Aspect, looted as if I were made for it, found this beautiful looking shield that I had to take just because it was gorgeous, and finally found something called a black book. When I read it, something strange happened. I had no idea where I was or what I was doing. Then this fella named Miraak put me on my knees and I was quickly able to infer that Broski is also a Dragonborn. He essentially said that I'm wasting my time and that I'll never beat him. Typical villain dialogue, you know the deal. And also that once they finish building his temple, he can return to the real world. Then they sent me back out of their realm. I followed Freya to the Skull village when I returned. I spoke to a guy named Storm Cragstrider and informed him that I'm the Dragonborn, same as Miraak. He says I may be their last hope of some sorts and directs me to a place to learn a word of power. I make it all the way there and learned the Ben Will shout. I killed an ancient dragon before I started my path back to the village though.
It takes a strong will to command a dragon's soul. Perhaps you aren't as powerful as you think. Thank you. We will meet again soon.
Yeah, so Broski stole my dragon soul, so I sent the dragon skeleton straight to the stratosphere. And let me tell you, that fucker went flying. I equipped the Ben Will shout and used it on this shrine, causing it to crumble and break apart, freeing all of its captives. It did, however, have a failsafe and spawned in a creepy-ass looking creature that survived about 8.2 seconds. Storn then tells me that since I was able to do it to one of the shrines, I should go around and clear the rest of them too. He also tells me where I can look to find more of the black books, which sends me on the path to meet Master Neloth. Before I head his direction, I chose to cleanse the last couple shrines. They weren't all that difficult and yielded quite a bit of gold. As I was traveling, I found some heartstone as well. I had no idea what it was used for, but I figured I might as well grab it while I'm here. I have arrived in Tel Mithryn at last. I make my way into this house and ride a magical elevator that made my jellies feel like they were melting out of my body. And there he was, Neloth once again.
My steward Verona is dead! No one has Canis Ruti to give me. Find someone to make me some!
Because of the way Neloth was acting, I stole all of his valuables purely out of spite. Not even gonna try to pronounce this, but I made it here with Neloth and he opened a door for us to get inside. I could see the book directly below my feet, but we needed to restore the steam supply in order to access it. This entire place was just one massive puzzle to retrieve all of the cubes needed. I'm gonna be so real, I hated this part of the Dragonborn questline. It was just so tedious and I got lost way too many times. Anyways, Neloth and I restored the steam and gained access to the black book, which once again sucked me into its dimension. Each one of these black books will drag me into Apocrypha, a cursed library dimension with disorienting puzzles, creatures that may give you nightmares, and a headache that will last a lifetime. I did not like one thing about this dimension. Besides the loot, that was cool I guess. It's always a bit worth it though, as you'll get a nice reward at the very end of it.
Well done, my champion. Your journey towards enlightenment has finally led you. I know what you want. To use your power as Dragonborn, to bend the world to your will.
Yeah, so this guy wanted me to plot with him and take down Miraak essentially, and he taught me the second word to the Ben Will shout. He also wanted me to give him the Skull's secrets, to which I accepted. Each black book you complete, you'll receive a boon. Most of these you'll forget about, so I just pick whichever one seems the most useful. I went back and spoke to Storm Cragstrider and told him what Hermaeus Mora asked me to retrieve. He opted to read the book himself, and it's pretty safe to say that I'll never see this guy again. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure. For my reward, he taught me the final word of the Ben Will shout. I was then tasked to read the Waking Dreams book, and after solving a quick riddle involving some books, I learned another word of the dragon aspect shout. I then used my new Binwill shout on this dragon, allowing me to ride him. We flew around for a bit, killing a couple enemies before ultimately making our way to the top of Mirak's temple. I really should have bumped the difficulty up here or something, because this fight was extremely underwhelming. He regenerated all of his health like 2 or 3 times, but I was able to get it down to 0 fairly quickly.
Did you think to escape me, Mirak? You can hide nothing from me here. No matter. I have found a new Dragonborn to serve me.
May he be rewarded for his service, as I am.
Mirak harbored fantasies of rebellion against me. Learn from his example. Serve me faithfully, and you will continue to be richly rewarded.
And that was it. The main storyline for this place is done, and thus begins the quest to obtain the rest of the achievements here, which is arguably 3 times as long. I spoke to Master Neloth again for some more quests, and roughly an hour later got my hands on another black book. There isn't much to show in these dimensions, so I'll just show when I find a book. He then does an untested spell on me and asks me to report any unwanted side effect. Bro could have literally turned me into a mushroom for God's sake, and he did not care. I then returned to Raven Rock and talked to this guy inside a mine and retrieved an ancient Nordic axe. Further along in the mine, there was actually some Stalrim that I could mine, so that was a fantastic accidental discovery. I don't know what the hell kind of dark magic this is, but I'm a massive fan. How the hell does a sword have projectiles? You know what? I'm not going to question it, actually. I had to use the sword in order to open this door. It was here that I learned the final word of the dragon aspect shout. There was a black book here too. This one was extremely short, took me about 5 minutes to get through. Man, my train of thought is almost impossible to track sometimes, but I started climbing the side of a mountain, and most of the time I skipped these random thoughts, but I found a dungeon and decided to explore it. Oh hell no, I don't like that. There are fiery explosive ones too? Get me out of here, bro, what the hell is this? Who makes spiders that can explode and set you on fire? That's insane. I didn't even do this for a quest, but there was a black book in here too. This one was a bit weird though. Anytime I was in darkness, I would take constant damage and the light was a safe place. After completing it, I got the achievement for learning the secrets of 5 black books. 3 minutes later, I got the achievement for discovering 30 different locations. After I completed those, I traveled back over to Skyrim and spoke to the dragon that we met at the end of the Dawnguard questline. I just needed to finish learning the words to the Soul Tear shout. I then continued completing a couple side quests and conquering a couple dungeons and perhaps meander my way throughout a lady's house without her knowledge. At the end of that, I got the achievement for owning a house in Raven Rock. Then I found a fella named Baldur and intimidated this guy into giving me the map location of the Stalrim nearby. The amount of Stalrim in this location was quite absurd, and I used that densely packed ice to then craft some armor and weapons because they all looked really nice to look at. Just take a look at the heavenly ice-plated armor that falls before your eyes. I also found out that I could upgrade my armor to a legendary variant now. It makes quite a large difference. After that was done, I was inspired to craft more armor, so I went back to Whiterun and got my smithing up to Daedric armor. I then went and got some Daedric hearts from the Dremora and bought some from this guy in Winterhold. This allowed me to craft a full set of Daedric armor and weapons. I enchanted this armor too, again for the destruction skill. I got all the way up to dragon armor as well. Then I spent the next few hours reaching level 80. This gives me the ability to find legendary dragons. And legendary dragon I found, but once again I think I am a bit too overpowered for this thing. It didn't take long for me to take it out. Now I have to restore the Thieves Guild to its former glory, and hands down this was the most ridiculous achievement that I had to complete in this entire game. I had to speak to Delvin and Vex to do repeatable quests to steal items. I have to complete 5 of these quests in each major hold. Upon doing that, I'll receive a special quest for that hold that I'll also need to finish in order to mark it off the list. Let's just say it took about 5 hours to get fully through this. 1 broken desk later and a headache from hell, I'm finally promoted to the leader of the Thieves Guild. I also received the guild armor as well from this lady. Following that accomplishment, I ran around to all 9 holds and killed a couple innocent individuals to earn myself a beautiful 1,000 gold bounty. And as soon as that was done, I spent a couple minutes hopping on and off the same dragon 5 times for that final achievement. And that's it, all 75 in-game achievements completed. An absurd amount of in-game hours played, and I'm now the proud owner of Mental Damage. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button to see more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Just as a little bonus for the people that watched all the way to the end, here is a little fight between me and the Ebony Warrior. I unfortunately figured out that my lightning spells stun. Oh, I'm not wearing full set. It is here, there we go. Oh god. Oh, it stuns him. I didn't realize it. Oh, yes. You little whole bitch.
At last,
You a whole bitch. Got him.